Today, we're diving into a really powerful, kind of counterintuitive idea. It's this paradox that suggests true abundance doesn't come from holding on tight to what you have, but from letting go. It's called the giver's paradox, and honestly, it might just change the way you see, well, everything.
Okay, so let's jump right in. Most of us grow up with a pretty simple belief, right? If you keep stuff, you have more. If you give stuff away, you have less. It just makes sense. But the idea we're exploring today, well, it flips that completely on its head. It suggests there's this hidden law in play where the more you release, the more you actually receive. And get this, the less you release, the more you stand to lose. It's a total reversal of what we think we know.
So, how does a strange law like that even work? I mean, really? Well, the concept at the heart of it is something called the law of flow. And it's presented as the key, like the key, to unlocking a totally endless supply of energy in our lives.
To really get our heads around this, let's use a powerful analogy. Just picture a room. All the windows are shut, the doors are sealed tight. What happens to the air in there? It's limited, right? It's a fixed amount, and eventually it gets stagnant, stale, pretty much lifeless. That room? That's the perfect model for hoarding.
Okay, but now, imagine we take that same room and we throw the windows wide open. What happens instantly? Suddenly, you've got this inexhaustible supply of fresh, clean air pouring in. A powerful, vital current starts moving. That is the essence of flow. It's an endless supply that's created just by opening up and releasing what was inside.
And look, this isn't just some nice poetic metaphor. The idea here is that this is a practical, observable law that you can see all around you. So let's look at a few real-world examples to see this principle in action.
All right, let's start with something we can all understand. Business. Think about it. For a merchant, money that's just sitting there, hoarded away, it's dead capital. It does absolutely nothing. But money that's flowing, being invested, used to buy and sell, that's living capital. And the faster it circulates, the more profit it actually creates.
Or how about the arts? Does a singer's talent get used up when they perform? No way! In fact, it grows. The more they give that gift away to an audience, the sharper their skills become. If they just hoard that talent and never share it, all that happens is stagnation.
And it's the exact same thing with knowledge. A scholar who shares what they know doesn't suddenly have less wisdom. Actually, it's the opposite. When you have to explain an idea to someone else, it deepens your own understanding, right? So by releasing that knowledge, you end up gaining even more in return.
This even applies to our own bodies, which is kind of wild when you think about it. An athlete doesn't get stronger by sitting on the couch to save up their energy. No, they get more powerful precisely because they exert it. It's the act of releasing energy through training that actually builds more strength and more vitality.
So here's the crucial takeaway from all these examples. Whether we're talking about money, talent, knowledge, or even physical strength, the big secret to having an endless supply is always the same thing: release and circulation. Keep it flowing.
Okay, but this all begs a huge question, right? Why? Why would the universe work this way? Why on earth does giving lead to gaining? Well, this is where things get really fascinating. The source material lays out this philosophical framework to explain the paradox, and it describes it as a tale of two interconnected worlds.
And the absolute key concept here is something called the anti-material world. Now, this isn't some physical place out there in space. Think of it more like a model, a way to understand a different realm, a realm of energy, of spirit, where the rules of our physical world are completely flipped upside down. So check this out. In our normal material world, the rule is simple. You release something, you have less of it. But in this anti-material world, the exact opposite is true. Releasing energy actually leads to an increase in energy. And the core idea here is that we are living in both of these worlds at the very same time. That's where the paradox comes from.
To really nail this idea down, the source points to a very famous quote. Now, when you see this through the lens of the law of flow, it's not about the rich getting richer in a material sense. It means that those who have, meaning those who have a flowing, giving spirit, they're the ones who will receive more. And those who have not, the ones who hoard and stagnate, well, they'll end up losing even what little they're holding on to. All right, so if we accept that this law is a real thing, what's the most powerful way to actually use it? This brings us to what's described as the ultimate currency, the stuff that truly grows almost exponentially the more you give it away.
And what are they? Well, they're these invaluable, intangible things. This whole model is most powerful when we're talking about wisdom, love, generosity, joy, spiritual energy. I mean, just think about it for a second. You can give away love or joy endlessly, and you never, ever run out. In fact, the very act of giving them away seems to multiply them inside you.
There's a proverb that illustrates this point just beautifully. It says, "The one who entertains guests won't be poor, but the thief won't be rich." The host who gives freely finds their life enriched in so many ways, but the thief who only ever takes remains poor in every way that truly matters.
And this also tackles a really common impulse we all have sometimes. The one to hoard our talents or our best ideas, waiting for the perfect moment or for someone to pay us for them. The argument here is that this is a huge mistake. It's confusing selfishness with being smart. It's basically trying to get something for nothing, and according to the law of flow, that's a strategy that is absolutely doomed to fail.
So all of this leaves us with a really provocative final thought. After exploring this hidden law, you just have to ask yourself, what if we've been measuring wealth all wrong? What if our greatest, truest riches aren't found in what we manage to keep for ourselves, but in what we find the courage to give away?